Hello, everybody. Today's review is going to be of a movie called Postal, which I actually found out while watching it. It was based on a video game that I maybe had heard of in the past, but completely forgotten about. And I believe there has been, from the looks of it on YouTube, there's been at least possibly 4 games made so far. So again, I guess this was like another video game adaptation, sort of supposed to be like put on the big screen. Now, obviously, this isn't like the highest budget film, that's for sure. And again, it wasn't really like the greatest film of all time. It kind of took some time to really get going, like the story and so on and so forth. But yeah, mostly the story took a little while to get going. And again, it was kind of a weird story anyway. And I think because it was almost like they were trying to do it in a video game style, but also kind of put the story into the movie, and kind of, I guess, give, like the character of the video game possibly like an actual kind of like backstory as to why he would just go completely psychotic near the end of the movie. So yeah, I guess we I guess we go over the cast list. So some of these people that were in the movie actually kind of surprised me. I guess one of them, I guess just really one of them actually was really the most surprising thing to me. But this movie did come out in 2007, so it was one of those movies in the like mid 2000s that was not afraid to offend and definitely kind of go over the top with like, I guess you could say like the shock value comedy. So it was kind of like, like if you ever seen like Epic Movie or what was it, like We're the Spartans, like something like that, where it was like, just the comedy was supposed to be meant for like a shock value type thing. So we'll go over the cast list. So Zach Ward, who played Dude, Dave Foley, who played Uncle Dave, Vern Troyer, who was just playing himself, Chris Coppola, who played Richard, Jackie Tone, who played Faith, J.K. Simmons, who played Candidate Wells. Now, that was the one that surprised me the most, to see him in a movie like this. Ralph Moeller, who played Officer John, Chris Spencer, who played Officer Greg, Larry Thomas, who was Osama bin Laden. So, like I said, again, this movie was definitely over the top with its humor. Um, so, uh, Eric Avari, who played Habib, Brent Mendenhall, who played George W. Bush, Rick Hoffman, who played Mr. Blither, Michael Benayer, who played Mohammed, and Ubol, who played Ubol himself. So I guess he was the director of the movie. Now, he's done some other work, and he has done both the Rampage movies. So if you've ever seen those, that's kind of, I guess, more maybe like his serious side of things, and obviously he does like to be a little bit comedic from time to time. So I guess that's maybe what he was trying to add into this movie, along with the side of like the crazy person as well. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting take, I suppose. And I haven't ever played the video games, so I can't really say it followed any of the video game story, or whether they were just trying to add a story into the video game itself. But we start out in Paradise Wind Trailer Park, which apparently was the birthplace of Axl Rose. I don't believe that's true, but that's what they put in this movie anyway. So then, I guess he's kind of being like cheated on by his wife, and like a dude is being cheated on by his wife, and it seems like the owner of the park is giving him an awful hard time about things. And then, of course, he's currently out of a job, so he's trying to find a new job. Um, and yeah, just having a pretty rough go of it, I guess, and definitely wants to get out of the town of Paradise. And I guess he'll kind of do anything at one point, once he kind of has nowhere else to go, because he didn't get I don't think he got the job. He ends up getting denied at the welfare office and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens to him that I guess slowly kind of spiral him into like this crazy rampage at the end of the movie, right? So Habib's luck Ganesh is, I believe, the store or whatever, and it's apparently like a secret Taliban hideout. So, again, it was kind of like these two sides were slowly fighting to steal these toys that I guess had been shipped over from China, and the most of the shipments sunk, but they were able to save a small amount of them. And I guess like the resale value on them is pretty high, so obviously everybody's trying to make like a good amount of money, right? So we go to Glutco Inc., which is the world's leading glut producer. Don't ask me what that is because that might be something from the video game. And we also visit so that was where dude was trying to get a job, but he was denied, I do believe. Or I think actually they ended up giving it to him, but I don't know whether he ended up taking it or not. Um, or whether I think he ends up getting fired from the job, actually, just based on what the guy said at the end of the movie. But I don't really know if did they ever show him get fired from the job? I can't remember. um, if they did or not. So anyway, we visit this Doom Apocalypse Survival Center, which is basically like this place with a cult inside of it, and that is owned by, or the leader anyway, is Uncle Dave, and of course, I guess he's always coming up with these plans and schemes and so on and so forth from the conversations I got between him and Dude. So Dude wants to find any way out of the town of Paradise. So eventually, Dude and Uncle Dave. Now originally I had thought they were going to plan to search for the sunken load of the crotchy dolls in order to sell them, but I guess I was totally wrong. Instead, they decide to break into this theme park in their town called Little Germany, to steal the crotchy dolls from actually Hugh Boll himself, and I believe he was going to be selling them with like reselling them with Vernon Troy. I think that was the whole like point of them having this like huge event in this Little Germany place. Um, and then all of a sudden, Vince Desi, I guess, who was the creator of the Postal video game, shows up and basically starts this fight with the owner of Little Germany, and all like chaos just breaks loose, and a whole bunch of people end up having like this like giant like shootout fight in the middle of this theme park. And of course, the same thing sort of happened at the welfare office. So it kind of seemed to me like it was almost like one of those movies where it was like everything you wanted to say, sort of thing, was like just being said. It was one of those movies like those thoughts that you have in your head. Well, here they are, like kind of out loud, sort of thing. Uh, so we get this small group from the cult that goes in and steals all the toys, and then Richie, who was also, I believe, part of the cult as well, tells Uncle Dave that I guess their whole plan wasn't actually just to sell the dolls, but it was to end the world, which I don't think Uncle Dave had any any thought of doing, right? Like at all. So and then again, I can't remember who it was that Dude had killed that everybody got so mad about. But anyway, basically the entire town is now after him, right? Because of what he's done. And I guess he's kind of like obviously slowly gone insane. So the whole town goes after him from both sides, like just the town, the cult, again, like the terrorist cell that's in the town too goes after him. So it's just like a huge mess at the end of the movie, and he just goes on like this wild rampage and is just fighting everybody. It doesn't really matter. So I guess between the cult and the Taliban, they had planned to release the avian flu through the selling of the crotchy dolls. Now I'm not really sure exactly what, like how they plan to do that. Whether they plan to like dose the dolls with avian flu, and I guess anybody who touched it would potentially get it. Seems like a pretty wild plan, but that's how they planned to end the world essentially in this movie. Was through that means, yeah, through those means. Just an absolute crazy story, and not really any like real plot to the movie, I wouldn't say. And not all of the acting was great, and there were several moments that just kind of felt like added for the shock value for sure. But I mean, I did get a few laughs out of this movie because dark humor is my type of humor, so I do understand. Like, yeah, I do get a few laughs out of it for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't say this was like the most well put together movie, that's for sure, and that's why I only gave it a 6 out of 10, because it kind of seemed to be like a little bit all over the place, and then they just added some stuff in there that like I was like, why is this even in here? Like, it's not really adding anything to the plot. Like, there were just certain things that the group did that wasn't even really necessary in order to even steal the dolls, right? Like, it just kind of made no sense. But anyway, um, I guess it's kind of one of those movies you can watch once, but I wouldn't ever like go back and watch it again, right? Like, um, it's not a movie I would revisit. Just because I feel like once you've watched it once, you've kind of like seen it, and all of the funny moments that are there. But yeah, again, it was just kind of a very chaotic movie. I probably because the game's a little chaotic too, right? But yeah, like I'm not saying all of the like the line deliveries for the comedy were at least good and subtle, but again, sometimes it just felt like some of the stuff in there wasn't really necessary to me. But yeah, to like drive the story any further. Now, if this movie came out today, oh boy, yeah, it would not be received as well, I don't think. So, but anyway, yeah, I guess that's it for this review. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.